So poor desk posture is a really potent driver of neck pain and headaches in our modern society. You can see here that a picture really is worth 1,000 words in demonstrating just how our electronic gadgets are pulling us forward and into the realm of these problems. So I'd just like to take a couple of minutes to very clearly show you how to sit safely at a desk to prevent these problems. Now, the first thing when you're sitting down is to make sure that your backside is as far back in the chair as you possibly can go. The reason why it's important to do that is you're trying to get some gentle support of the low spine to get some lumbar curve. We have two major curves in the back which balance each other. Now, if you don't have curve down the bottom, the top one takes over, head and neck forward, and you're in a lot of strife. So there's one concept that is important to understand, and that is simply that if you draw a vertical line up from your hip joint, straight up, we're looking to have your trunk and your head behind that vertical line. Because as soon as you're behind that vertical line, gravity is on your side, it helps you into the chair, and the chair does all the work for you. If you're a tiny bit forward, then what's going to happen is that gravity will have its way with you, and you'll just keep going forward, worse and worse, until you're in lots of problems. So that's all you have to understand. There's simply three things I emphasise to make it more likely for that to happen through the day. The first one, and most important, is for you to take your chair forward until your tummy presses up against the edge of the desk. If you can feel the desk up against your tummy, then you know that you're not in front of the vertical line and in danger of slumping forward. Because the common trap is that we start full of good intentions, but if we're just that little bit forward, the head will slump, and then the eyes are closer than you meant them to be, so the bum goes back, head forward, back, and you're in a downward spiral into oblivion and lots of pain, potentially. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the eye to screen relationship. So first and foremost, we're hardwired to want to see the horizon, to look horizontally. If we're looking at the screen, we're generally looking at the top third of the screen, and that's where you want to have at your eye level. Part B of the screen setup is how far away from your eyes it is, and for each individual person there'll be a distance away from their eyes that they feel most comfortable with the screen. So the idea is to move the screen until it's where you really like it, when you're in a good position. If anything, err slightly on having it too close, so that your first instinct is to just get that little bit further back behind the plumb line and making it more likely that you'll stay there. So you've got one thing with the chair forward, two things with the screen. The third thing is an angled footrest. If you put your feet up on that footrest and gently press down on your feet, then you notice that that also takes you back further behind the plumb line. So those three layers of redundancy, 1, 2, 3, all simply keeping you behind the plumb line and gravity on your side. The final thing is about the shoulder muscles and arms. So what we're looking at here is to have all these big spear throwing muscles relaxed and turned off, the elbows hanging by the side, and all the work just being done by the small muscles of the forearm and hand. And if you've got using your mouse, that's close to you as well, not out far, so that you're turning those muscles on. With regard to the height of the chair, it depends on how long your arms are compared to your trunk length. For people with very long arms, they need to be up as high as they possibly can, so their thighs up under the desk. For people who have a slightly longer trunk and shorter arms, they have the advantage that they can sit a little bit lower. The key is that the elbow should be at the level of the wrist or slightly above. What you can't allow to happen is to have the wrists higher than the elbows, in which case you'll tend to shrug your shoulders up continuously and or chicken wing, both of which lead to shortening of these large muscles, and that's a potent driver of neck pain and headaches. So just a very simple way of staying a lot safer at your workstation.